I know, I'm not in my usual glamorous clothes because I'm direct from the kitchen today. Direct from the kitchen, as I am now a full-time housewife.
He's channeling his Fanny, aren't you? Fanny Craddock.
Oh.
You're channeling your Fanny Craddock.
Well, I have been cooking today and I'm just going to put my new scarf on. Yeah. Thank you, Sharon. Nice, huh?
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice.
Lovely. But I don't need it on, but I just wanted to show it off because this is one of a few gifts that we've received today from Sharon. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to be
you.
showcasing those gifts shortly, but that's the scarf. It's lovely and soft. Beautiful. Thank you. Just wanted to say hi to a number of new subscribers who've joined us recently. We think it's down to the huge YouTube influencer Vivi Gregory of What Vivi Did Next and Vivi's Kitchen Garden. So if you've come over from Vivi's, say hi. We're warm and friendly.
We're warm, definitely.
Well, I think I'm friendly, Paul.
No, it's just quite humid today.
Is it?
Well, I am. I'm quite humid today.
I think there's something wrong with you. It's not that warm.
Oh.
But I have been in a hot, steamy kitchen. And today I've been doing an experiment. And I managed to cook a fruit brick.
Yeah. That's unfair.
Well, look, put it this way. If any of you felt a slight tremor in the Earth's crust, earlier on it was when I was putting it onto the worktop.
A fruity crust.
But that video will be out soon. You will see that, my experiment with a no sugar fruit and bran loaf.
Was there oil in it?
Yeah, a little bit of
oil.
A little bit of oil. Actually, it turned out not too bad.
I thought it was delicious.
But you'll see that video quite soon. In fact, it might have come out by the time this comes out. I don't know anymore. I'm just putting videos out when I feel like it these days.
He is, yeah.
I am, because I'm trusting my instincts, Paul.
You are,
I am. Yeah.
He hasn't even had coffee.
We have had coffee.
Oh, we have had coffee, yes. We have had coffee.
But
God,
anyway,
you were on one last week.
If you are new, shush now, Paul. God.
How many seconds in is that?
If
minutes,
you are new, shush. If you are new to the channel, welcome, bloody welcome. Thank you.
And if you're an oldie and wrinkly and all of that, welcome too.
Welcome. Yeah.
That I have to say, the loaf it's delicious.
Shh.
It's flatter than my chest.
We're not talking anymore about the loaf.
Oh, we're moving on. Yeah, shush now, Paul.
Yeah, shush.
Yeah.
God, honestly. So, Sharon. Lovely, lovely Sharon. Just want to say thank you for the gifts.
Absolutely.
So, the highlight for me, barley coffee.
Barley coffee.
Or what do they call it in Bali? Kopi.
Kopi.
K-O-P-I.
K-O-P-I, yeah.
Barley kopi.
Yeah.
From Bali.
From Bali. I mean, it is. It's lovely. I mean, we really had a fantastic holiday in Bali over 2 decades ago. Bali. B-A-R-L-E-Y. Bali. Yeah. Bali. B-A-L-I. We had a fabulous holiday there. Yeah, but it was ages ago.
It was a long, long time ago, and
we were youthful.
There's no digital evidence because digital cameras kind of weren't a thing.
No, I suppose there isn't.
They were just coming in as sort of commercial, snappy cameras.
Yeah. I think it was Nokia phones, wasn't it? Yeah, I had a Nokia phone that worked there for emergencies.
Yeah, we
which
did take a phone.
Use.
We did take a phone, but yeah. Anyway, so other things that Sharon purchased for us.
Dib dabs.
Sherbet dib dabs.
And some Space Invaders, which are in the other
they're
room.
not Space Invaders, they're flying saucers.
Flying saucers.
I wanted a flying saucer.
Well, you're not going to have one. You have to wait till later.
And also another selection of celestial seasonings. I think we've got the whole range now. We could open a shop. Mint Magic, Fireside Vanilla Spice.
That sounds fabulous. That sounds nice and wintry.
And Tension Tamer.
Yeah,
I
could
assume
do
that's
with
a
that
real
regularly.
relaxer.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much, Sharon.
And where are they made?
Where are they
Boulder,
made?
Colorado.
Are they?
Yeah, yeah.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Boulder.
One of our friends, the one that we look after, her cat when she's away, she had a lodger from Boulder, Colorado
Oh, did
years
she?
ago. Yeah. The environmental one that was working in Mexico.
How lovely.
Yeah.
So, lovely, special, super duper. Paul. Paul, you wanted to talk about AI. Why?
Yeah,
You keep getting emails from AI.
I do. I mean, yeah,
You should be grateful that you're getting emails at all from anybody.
I'd quite like to get fewer emails from people, but yeah, because I look after various websites for people, including our own, and For Her Sake and the Great Green Barn, and various others, I am being bombarded, and I do mean that, bombarded by emails at the moment, and these are artificial intelligence generated ones. They're ones that have been able to trawl the details of the person who looks after the website and constantly send emails, regularly, maybe more honest than constantly, saying, we've had a look at your website and it could do with X, Y, and Z. We could help you with your search engine optimization. We could help you with design. We could help you with this. We could help you with that.
Oh.
And I am getting between, I would have thought, 15 and 20 a day, which are just coming through. They're generally going into my spam, which is fine. But, I think this is the way that things are going to go with AI. They're just going to be trawling the internet, finding out our interests, and then start bombarding us with things. And it's really annoying me at the moment. And the thing is, you can't block them, because there are some valid people that I do receive emails from that use key phrases like these AI emails use. It's just really annoying me.
Oh, can you go on? Okay, so what do we do about it, Paul?
Well, the thing
What's
is,
the solution?
one of the things is to make sure that your email is never on a website. That can be quite difficult because AI can trawl the code of websites and find out who is involved in the website one way or another. So they can do that, but just make sure your email is never on a website or anywhere really. It's good if you are able to create a separate email for your personal email. Always do that, and only use that for contacting your friends and family and people you want to contact. It's good to have another email, which is a general email, if you like, that you use for your shopping and things like that, because then that is more likely to be spammed. So
Lovely,
yeah.
Paul. Richard and Paul's weather report.
Richard and Paul's weather report.
So we normally kick off with the weather report, but we forgot.
Did you write it down?
No.
No, that's why we forgot.
We're at 6s and 7s at the moment. There's a lot going on, and
yeah.
We're recording this on the Friday because we got stuff going on at the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But Paul, what has the weather been like? You might notice it's quite light in here.
It's it's been a mixed bag, really.
Very breezy again, yet again, windy.
With long patches of heavy rain, and also long patches of grey skies and quite good patches of sunshine as well. I mean, the weeds are growing very, very well at the moment everywhere, it has to be said.
But the past couple of days have been quite dry, Paul.
Yeah, they have. Having had a really wet start to the week and a bit over the weekend, it's been quite a bit drier. I'm glad we've had so much rain that we did have, because I do need to get tomatoes and various other things in the ground, and that ground was beginning where I want to plant to be a little bit firm. So
Yes.
yeah, I hope to be planting tomatoes within about 50 minutes of now, fingers crossed.
Drier than a nun's minge.
Did you see that beatboxing nun? You must have seen the beatboxing nun.
With the dry minge.
I don't know whether she did, but she was. Oh yeah, I've been sent a beatboxing nun several times.
See that? Sadly, I missed that.
It was quite fun. Yeah,
Super.
she does all the. Apart from she does it properly.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
So we also wanted to say hello to Wendy,
Yes.
who we met down in Swanage. Wendy is was one of Vivi's subscribers.
Is one of.
Yeah.
Well, no, was implies she no longer is.
No, is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was at the time we met her.
And is now one of our subscribers and emailed us.
Yes.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy,
Thank
and
you
your
for
sisters.
email.
So I don't know whether we mentioned this week, this last week, but we were in a hardware shop and we did.
Yeah, I think we did mention it.
Meet up with Wendy, and Wendy said something, and I said, "Oh, let's say hello," and so it was nice to meet her and her sisters in lovely Swanage, which we're already planning a return visit to.
Yeah. So this weekend we're off to the Great Green Barn to work an event. So I will be helping out with the bar.
You will, yes.
As usual, pouring drinks and generally being
Smiley and happy.
happy.
Yeah. And
And accommodating.
I'll be doing all the adding up, won't I?
Yeah, I don't do that.
He doesn't do that.
I don't do
No.
figures.
No.
I don't do any kind of money, change, things like that. No, doesn't happen with me. I'm not very good with numbers. So the minute I try to calculate anything, the numbers just blur and go strange, and I become very, very hot and embarrassed that I don't know what's happening.
And then cries. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Now, I might run away and sit in a corner and rock, but no. But yes, so we'll be doing that. But it is a show by the great grandson of Charles Dickens. What's it called, Paul?
There's two shows.
Oh,
the
two
first,
for one.
The first is Mr. Dickens is Coming,
Oh.
and the second is Dr. Marigold, which is an adaptation of the story by Dickens. The first is a loose adaptation of various things by Gerald. I've known Gerald for nigh on 20 years, I would have thought, and we developed a show together with a Minneapolis client of mine. With Jeffrey Hatcher, he wrote it. He also wrote quite a few. He's written the screenplays and quite a few other plays, and is an American playwright. Really nice guy. And we did it, I think it was about 2010, 2011, 12. We developed this play from a little known Dickens piece called The Life of Our Lord, which he wrote really for his children. He didn't want it published in his lifetime, but the Dickens estate later decided, well after he had died, that they would publish it. I think about 1940 or something. And the play that we developed, called To Begin With, it was based on that book. Really interesting play, looking at Dickens and his time in the Isle of Wight when he was writing this piece. I think we will have that at the Great Green Barn in 2026. Yeah. But yeah, I've known Gerald a long time, and looking forward to seeing him again tomorrow. Yeah.
And I've never met him. And I'm hoping to perhaps do a small interview.
Well, he said yes. So.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm going to ask him, but I'm probably going to have to confess that I've never read a Charles Dickens in my life.
Have you never read a Charles Dickens?
No, I tried. It was far too complicated for
Was
a
it all-
4-year-old.
Was it all the words?
It was too many words strung together into sentences.
And paragraphs.
And paragraphs.
And pages.
Just too complicated.
Short
all these
stories.
strange names. And
Long books.
long words.
Oh,
I
dear.
don't really like books unless they've got pictures.
Yes.
Preferably all pictures.
Actually, I did have a illustrated Great Expectations at one time. I don't have it now, but I remember having it at some time. But yeah, I started reading Great Expectations when I was about 8.
I like sort of non-fiction?
Yeah.
No, like sort of textbooks and books on space and the universe and things like that. I like all of that.
With lots of pictures.
Encyclopedias I quite like
Oh,
as
he
well.
does like a good encyclopedia.
Yeah, with lots of pictures. Or books on the occult, ghosts, supernatural. I like all of that.
Do you remember the Encyclopedia Britannica?
I do, but I didn't have... I had one volume, A to B or whatever it was called, but we had the new junior encyclopedias that my granny bought. My granny used to buy them weekly, and they were purple, I remember. I think it was New Junior Encyclopedia or something. And I loved those, absolutely loved them. I was always dipping in and out of them. Whereas storybooks, I had a few favourites and I used to reread them.
Like Alice in Wonderland.
I think for comfort.
I remember encyclopedias and the excitement of going to an encyclopedia to look up a word or look up something, very much like you would do with a dictionary. And of course nowadays you just go to Google, don't you, and you Google it.
Yeah, but the trouble with Google and the trouble with the internet is a lot of the stuff that comes up isn't necessarily accurate.
Yeah.
You've got to be very choosy about what you're looking at and where it's, the pedigree of the website.
Absolutely.
That you're looking at.
Yeah, the source facts.
Because
basically.
because it now gives you an AI rundown.
I
at the
know,
top,
I don't like that.
Which is a sort of summary of what it's found, which I've noticed can be very accurate, but can also be
very wrong.
Inaccurate
Absolutely.
as well. So it's an interesting thing. But yes, I love the internet and I love Google, especially for sourcing recipe ideas.
There we are.
Because it gives you everything in one go. I've been going through a few books to sort of look for inspiration on recipes. And many of you probably watched the puttanesca video.
That was delicious.
Which was fantastic. But again, it was sort of inspired by a few different recipes. We've always kind of made puttanesca style sauces in the past, but I really wanted to try and nail it. So sort of drew a few bits of inspiration from here and there. But I find going through the books, I think you either like a cookery book or you don't. And there are many cookery books that I pick up and think, no, I don't like this one. For what reason, I don't know, but generally it's because they've not provided a lovely photograph of the dish. I like to see it.
Yeah. I mean,
sometimes it's just a little drawing of a leaf.
Yeah, I sort of don't mind. I can usually picture what it is, because of course I'm incredibly creative in that way. So I have a quite a collection of cookery books which I like going back to.
We've got a massive collection.
But it's not as, dare I say, it's not as massive as it used to be.
No, we got rid of quite a few, didn't we?
I think we got
all
rid
the
of
meat
about
ones we got rid of.
anything with, well, not anything with meat in. There are some Tamazin Day Lewis. I'm very fond of my Tamazin Day Lewis books. I've got all of those. But yeah, most are vegetarian and a couple of vegan. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. You also wanted to mention For Earth's Sake, Paul, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a trip down there on Wednesday, and again, it was a full-on day. It takes quite a while to get down there, despite the fact that it was a half term in the UK. So there weren't any sort of cars on the roads taking kids to school and things like that. And that is sort of through the time that I drive down. It still took me just under 2 hours to get there. I don't know, but there we are. And it was a good day. We got a lot done. There were various things that we needed to think about for the Great Green Barn as well. So yeah, another good day. But I do find it tiring. I find, yeah, I mean, it's not I can't go on, but I find getting up at, sort of 6 o'clock in the morning, driving for 2 hours, having an 8 or 9 hour shift down there, then driving back, which is usually an hour and a half. You've always got supper ready. I do find that day long, and it's the age. I'm beginning to feel it the following day as well.
Well, I'm finding the days long at the moment, seeing as I'm waking up at 4 o'clock every morning. Seriously. This happens every year. It's nothing new. Always happens in the summer, the beginning of the summer. Then I seem to settle down. It's always the change of season. Oh, it's a killer. Word of the week.
What were?
From A Word for Every Day of the Year by Stephen Poole. Gifted to me by Vivi Gregory of What Vivi Did Next and Vivi's Kitchen Garden.
And The Cottage by the Sea.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce this. Oh, wait. Pinch Punch, first of the month.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's the 1st of June.
You're seeing this on the 1st
Happy
of June.
summer. Welcome to summer.
Meteorological summer.
Meteorological summer is here, yeah.
Okay, shush now, Paul. Alazoni. Alazoni. The singer Alanis Morissette was born on this day in 1974. Her most famous song, Ironic, subsequently inspired never-ending torrents of mansplaining that no, actually, rain on your wedding day isn't ironic. Arguably, it is, according to the longer-tested concept of situational irony. Irony. Such carpers, indeed, often themselves suffer from alazoni, which is an excellent term for an inability to recognise irony when they see it.
Oh, right.
It derives from the ancient Greek alazonia, for boastfulness or imposture, and in English originally meant generally pride or arrogance, before it was adopted in the mid-20th century literary criticism for the specific fault of irony blindness. It surely could be diagnosed more often now, when subtle jokes lead inevitably to outrage.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, never a truer word. However, the reading of those paragraphs, was really challenging, I think, the way that was written. Much more challenging than normal.
Well, at least
it seemed really convoluted.
At least there are commas. That's the thing, at least. But that song,
that's not
Ironic.
I don't know
it. Isn't it ironic? It's like rain on your wedding day.
Oh, right. Oh yeah. I sort of know. I don't know it.
Yeah, but I thought she was doing it because it was ironic that none of it was ironic.
Right. I thought she was doing it because I don't care.
No. Anywho, Paul, television. What have we watched on television this week? I can't really remember anything, Paul, but I do remember that bloody makeup programme.
Yes, Glow Up.
Bloody Glow Up programme that you love.
I find it is what is it? It's a like a guilty pleasure. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. The Glow Up, Britain's Next Makeup Artist or something.
Look, I appreciate makeup artists are artists, and it's pretty hard to do a good makeup, especially with prosthetics.
Prosthetics.
Drives me insane how she says that. No. Prosthetics.
There's a
It's like
in
anaesthetic. There are people that say anaesthetics. I don't understand that. Mind you, I don't understand when people can't pronounce TH in general.
Right, yeah.
Really.
I can't understand when people go, well, I'm going to ask him that instead of ask him that. I don't get that.
Well, yeah.
Language changes.
There are some things that are cultural. And, many of these changes make it into the dictionary, which is fine because that is how the English language changes.
Absolutely.
And evolves.
Yeah.
But there are some things that I do find annoying because it's not hard.
Oh, you find most things annoying.
Yes, I do.
He does.
I hold my hands up.
Yeah, loads of things. At least 10 times a day he'll get annoyed about something.
Yeah, I think it's healthy.
Yeah, 9 times because of, what was this about folding T-shirts and things? You don't think I can fold a T-shirt?
You cannot fold a T-shirt, Paul, to make it like it's just come out of a packet. And I was fooled the other day when I was tidying and putting things away. I shared it on my blog.
I know, I saw a comment about it.
Yeah, and I opened the drawer and said, Paul's been folding his T-shirts. I almost had an epiphany. And then I realised the penny dropped. I thought he's just got them out of the packet, these new ones, and shoved them in the drawer.
Yeah, I had.
The ice cream van.
I thought I did really well getting them out of the packet and putting them in the drawer. That was an achievement.
But they don't fit in the drawer when they're in a pile, folded like that, do they, Paul? No, they don't.
Well, you haven't taken my
just
things out yet. My winter things and my thermals
Where
and
are
things.
your winter things going to go?
You magically find spaces for these things.
I don't think I do.
I think you should.
No,
yeah.
there is no space for anything else now. So when new T-shirts come in, old T-shirt need to go.
But I got some of those T-shirts because they were on offer because they were end of season. They're long sleeve, so they'll do for next year.
They need to be folded flat, not in a big bunch like that.
Right. I didn't think folding a T-shirt could be so incongruous in a relationship. Yeah.
Well, I would use the word incompetent.
I fold the sleeve shoulder bits together, and then I tuck that bit in, and then I triple them down like that.
Triple them?
Yeah,
No.
Down
No,
and then
that's-
down.
No.
And then they get little like that.
And why don't you tell the viewers, Paul, how you take a T-shirt out? Yeah. And leave
I rummage through the pile.
through the folded pile, rather than going through, looking at the colours.
No,
you
I
just
do
put
that.
your hand in, pull out, and leave the rest of them just in a complete and utter mess.
I do like flatten them like that.
And
so
then
that
you wait for me to put the clean clothes and go, oh God, Paul's messed his T-shirts up again.
Yeah,
Honestly.
those long sleeve ones and the
I don't
thermals,
care about them.
they can go
don't care
somewhere
about
else.
them.
Yeah,
There's
maybe a
nowhere
vacuum
else.
thing. A vacuum.
We're not getting vacuum bags again. the vacuum bags that work for 5 minutes
And then go
and then blow up in your cupboard. That's how the IKEA wardrobe broke. It was burst by a vacuum bag. Now shush now, Paul. Canal Boat
what is
Diaries.
It? Iqbar. Ivan. What's the IKEA wardrobe? It's something like that, isn't it? Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Iqbar?
Yeah, they've all
I
got
don't
those
think
funny
it's
names,
Iqbar.
don't they? Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Lost my thread now, Paul.
Coburn.
You're ruining all of it now. Shush. Canal Boat Diaries we have started with
We
Robbie.
have. We
That's
have.
you and Yesterday, the channel.
Yeah. I mean, this one's quite interesting. I mean, they're all quite interesting, but this one, I think he's coming down the... Is he going to come down the Grand Union?
I think he's gone down through
Oxford.
Oxfordshire.
It's interesting. We got a glimpse of a couple of houses. He was going through Henley and Wargrave and then on to Windsor.
Lovely.
And there was a boat there that I saw, which was interesting because just maybe a few miles from where the boat was, I know a friend of mine lives, and her husband, who sadly died, built that boat. So that was quite interesting to see.
Well,
that.
you thought it was that boat because
I'm
you didn't
sure
get
it
a
was.
close look at it, Paul.
No, I'm going to have to ask Barbara whether that was the boat. I'm sure it was.
Whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, it's amazing how long the Thames is. Oh yeah, we watched that as well, didn't we? The Amazon. Yeah.
Programme on the Amazon, that was good.
Amazon River, that was good. That was an old one, 2019
Yeah,
BBC.
It's probably all been destroyed by now.
Well, I doubt it.
We continue with Joanna Lumley's Danube,
Yeah.
which is interesting because we love Joanna and she's always good.
Yeah, always good value for money.
And it's always good, scenery and good shots. It's engaging, it keeps you looking at the screen rather than falling asleep. And I don't think I've fallen asleep that much this week.
No, you've
but I
fallen
have had a
asleep
couple
less.
of afternoon naps.
Yes, he has.
We
and
watched-
that was on ITV. We said that, didn't we? That's finished. Sadly, only 3 episodes.
Sadly.
Yeah.
We watched Question Time.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you report about the state of politics at the moment in this country? What is there to say? They ain't doing much
Well, I think
to
they
benefit the poor man on the street.
Absolutely, that's it. They're doing an awful lot, but I can't see what's happening to benefit the general, tax-paying
Nothing.
public. There's a lot going on, I think, to benefit tax dodgers and those who are incredibly wealthy. But yeah, I mean, even around here, we've got a Labour council, haven't we? And the streets are nowhere near as clean and clear as they used to be.
The weeds aren't being cleaned up. What are we paying our council tax for? I mean, don't get me wrong, we agree with paying council tax, but a huge proportion goes on things that we will never benefit from.
Yeah.
Well, I say that loosely.
Directly benefit from.
Directly benefit from.
Society will benefit, but
Yeah.
we will not directly benefit.
And obviously we all have to play our part and pay our dues. And we don't begrudge paying our dues at all. In fact, I'm paying more than my fair share at the moment on any earnings, I believe.
You
But
are.
anyway, that's another story. It's all to do with tax codes and stuff like
And
that.
basic rate when she shouldn't be paying basic rate. But anyway.
Yeah.
What does annoy me though, and we noticed, or I noticed last weekend, when we had our gate sale, there's usually a really nice hollyhock growing at the front of our allotment at the front gate. And when we came out, I looked and I saw that the hollyhock had started growing, but it had just shriveled. And then I looked along our fence line and it had all been sprayed with weed killer by the council.
They shouldn't be allowed to do that.
They shouldn't be doing that on anywhere near an allotment. But that is what happens. We used to have a fabulous guy who loved cleaning the streets. I mean, he genuinely loved cleaning the streets, and he had something that used to get in the nooks and crannies, and these
you
streets.
used to hear him in the early
absolutely,
morning,
like
going
at
along.
4:30 in the morning. Maybe that's where the waking up came from. And you'd come out and he'd be working, and the streets were spotless. They didn't have any weeds on them. Now they seem to think that coming along with one of those trucks without giving notice, so there's lots of
Parked
cars, and because the parked cars were all bumped up on the pavement on our road, the gutters just don't get swept.
No.
And then you get a huge amount of dump rubbish that have been swept up. When the van sort of truck thing pulls out, it dumps a whole lot of rubbish there that then needs to be picked up several days later by workmen with shovels. But if it then rains really heavily, as it was doing until like 2 or 3 months ago, that just gets washed down the road. I don't know. I don't know.
That's it. Sunday moan over with now.
Yeah. Did we
Okay.
watch something else?
No.
I'm sure I did. Oh, yeah, I'm watching the Bourne films again. I really do like the Bourne films. Yeah.
You've said enough now.
I've said enough.
That's it.
I'm going to have a dib-dab.
I've got to blow my nose because I think there's high pollen today. I've been sniffly
There is high
and
pollen
sneezy.
today.
My nose is running. Oh.
And there's also a lot of dust in the air. There's, because of the work going
building
on.
site.
But the type of work going on at the moment on several houses is creating a huge amount of dust.
However, notice it's very quiet today.
Well, they're doing
Touch wood.
block work at the moment. That's
Brickwork.
brickwork and block work. So they're actually building sort of internal walls and external walls.
With lovely red bricks.
I mean, surely they must
Talk
have
about
had
out of place.
to match what they had before.
Hey ho, hey ho. We're not the controllers of people's taste.
No, definitely not. No.
So time to say goodbye now. Say goodbye, Paul. Say goodbye.
See you next week for a further Sunday chat.
You'll see them before then for your week at the plot.
Oh, I
Paul.
will be here for a week at the plot, but a week at the
right.
plot isn't Sunday chat.
And you'll see me for my vlogs on Wednesday, and also, of course, any random cookery projects that might just pop up out of nowhere.
Fanny at the furnace.
Fanny at the... So take care. Toodle pip. Au revoir. Bye for now.
Bananas.
Come again.
Bananas.
Watch all the adverts.
Bananas.
Hope you enjoyed
Bananas.
it. Tits and bums.
Bananas.
Tits and bums.